February 2011, after a proper notice in the Emory Rankin County Leader. And of course, you know that the right of the people to convene is ordained in Article 1, Section 2 of the Texas Constitution, which reads, all political power is inherent in the people, and all free governments are founded on their authority and instituted for their benefit. The faith of the people of Texas stands pledged to the preservation of a Republican form of government, and subject to this limitation only, they have at all times the inalienable right to alter, reform, or abolish their government in such manner as they may think expedient. And so that is the authority of, that is the legal authority that we come under. And I suppose this all started in April. Calls for the Citizens Convention arising from the populace began around April the 1st in response to Governor Perry's refusal to acknowledge the mass phone calls, letters, emails, and faxes from Texans requesting that he call an emergency session of the legislature to address an ordinance of nullification to protect Texans from economic devastation and loss of constitutionally guaranteed rights and liberty through a series of unconstitutional federal policies. The people of Texas reserve the right to convene under the Bill of Rights, of course, Article 1, Section 2 of the Constitution. And the call for the election of delegates, according to historical precedent set in 1861, may be called unofficially in the following manner. The county justice can do it upon failure or refusal to act. Any one or more of the county commissioners can do it in an unofficial capacity. And if they refuse to respond or act, then a committee of at least 5 citizens can call for the election of delegates. That's how that part of it works. So we will be following historical precedent in this because even though the outcome was not good, the one and only time that Texans met, well, actually no. First, Texans called a citizens convention when they were Mexican citizens, and then the next time they called one, it was the Texas Revolution, and then the next time they called, it was the so-called Civil War. And of course, 2 times they have been successful in doing it, and so, they did it again. They'll do it every time when things get to a certain point. And so, Governor Houston did not want this to occur. He tried to block it, and the usual way that they try to block it is they just won't respond. They just pretend it's not happening. And but of course, I couldn't withstand the pressures that were mounting. And finally, a week before the Citizens Convention, Houston called this emergency session. He was hoping to get the House to denounce it. But instead, they passed a resolution affirming that it was lawful and legitimate, and a week later, they had the Citizens Convention. And so that's what happened there. And so things are pretty much shaping up the same. They parallel very much the circumstances for the previous Citizens Convention. Hi, Sam. Because we had meetings all over Texas before, and they happened in the town. We had town hall meetings, and the people really hoped to convey the grievances and find redress in the representative. And when we met in Emory with Van Flynn, we weren't allowed to talk.
Amen. You can't talk.
The purpose of the town meeting is so that we could connect with him, but he wouldn't let us talk himself. He took a few questions, Yeah, statements at the end. Sam was there, Gus, weren't you at the town hall meeting? And Emily?
And he also liked to wedge in on the Tea Party. I like these tea parties, and he was calling the thing together himself, it wasn't a tea party.
Well, the old political maxim, if you can't beat them, lead them. That's true, that's what they do. And they commandeered the Tea Party, well, they're good at what they do, aren't they? Let's see. Let's look a little bit about exactly how this works. Have you guys seen this map? Because you need to know where like 76 counties.
Do we have to have every county accounted for before this can happen?
No, you don't. You have to have, you want the better portion of Texas to be involved, absolutely. But if they're called forward and they refuse to participate, well, then what do you do?
I just want to make a brief notation here that all those people that have joined us on a no budget with no, just in the past year, that's pretty good.
Call. That's the appeal to the rest of Texas for people to convene. And the writers of the formal call are selected from among the initiators, always. And will be this time too. So those haven't been selected yet. These are preliminary meetings. The formal call will explain why the convention is being called, how many delegates in each House district, that each House district may send to the Citizens Convention, and that is 2. They get double the representation they have in the House. And of course, the suggested date for the Texas Citizens Convention and the location, which should probably be in Austin, in the Capitol building. And that formal call will be posted in the main newspaper of every House district in Texas and disseminated by the people. It is an action of the people, and nothing gets done in it that the people don't carry out themselves. They just get together in their community and form committees and get this stuff done. Who can make the formal call? Any Texan can make the call. In 1861, those were very powerful men that made that bold move to circumvent the government. The primary initiator of that was Warren Roberts. He was an associate justice of the Supreme Court of Texas at the time, and the delegates, they read like a who's who in Texas. This time is different. It's being called by common Texans, and so it differs in that regard. And so the people have to notify the governor that it's going to convene. They have to post the formal call. They have to, and then after that formal call, that is when the election of delegates happens. And the people will be asked to set forth their delegates, and they're going to have to decide on the course of action to take, whether they're going to abolish that entity, the Texas state government, because it's under federal control, and there are many things happening in it, like the debasement of our currency, the erosion of our border, and on and on. And I'm sure everyone here is well acquainted with those type of problems, and we simply can't go on like this.
Obamacare.
Huh?
Obamacare.
Oh, well, that was the central thing that really drew people together to decide to go ahead and call it, because it's so commonly detested in Texas. And then, of course, you know who can call it, and it will be carried out along the lines of a caucus, because in the formal call, the people will be asked to come forward to participate in the process. Those that step forward by the deadline are going to be the people that decide on who's, on all these things. And the delegates, their qualifications have to at least match those of the House of Representatives. So they have to live a couple of years in Texas, be over 21, and all those things that are listed in the Texas Election Code, which is not really very stringent. And then they have to, they will have to elect the people they want to send, the delegates, and they're going to have to, or we, I keep saying they, we will issue a certificate of election. They can't get in without that certificate. And then, of course, we don't know yet. It depends. It could be a central place. It could be on a central place within the district. It depends on the level of participation. So that depends on how complex it will be. Whether we will have to organize and pick a district chair, you know, and county chair, or whether we can just consolidate that and do it all in one place. So you kind of know along the order that this is going to proceed. And I do believe that it's fair to do it in caucus fashion, because the Texas House of Representatives has the option, and they will exercise it if it comes to that, of putting the decisions of the delegates to a popular vote by ballot statewide. And so that makes it so everyone gets that opportunity. In this type of action, it is not a party thing. Any Texan has a right of course we're all conservatives here, and that's typical in our area, but anyone has a right to come. Anyone, it doesn't matter if they're liberal or they cannot be barred, ever. It's open door. And there are a great many people that are going to be very interested in what the people have to say at this meeting, because I think that gives us a pretty fair understanding of how this all works. But what I didn't tell you is who brought the action. Oh, I hope I didn't leave I gathered signatures, and they, with the information, a registration number, you know, so that our elected representatives could see that they were people, recognizable people in the community. And I went through and concentrated in Emory, and I signed up I concentrated on businesses because they tend to be more prominent in the community, and people seem to respond better that way. So I did not meet hardly a person in this town who did not agree that it was time that the people assembled and discussed our collective business. And but I must have left those signatures because I wanted. Let me see if I must have walked out of the house without them. But I did get them notarized and witnessed and all of those things. And I did send a letter, because these things need to be brought forth. They shouldn't be done in the dark. And I put a letter in the Orange County Leader, so that other people who hadn't been talked to yet could understand what was happening. And I sent a copy of that to Judge Darty, who was the judge at the time, and I sent a copy to the commissioners, and sat down with the commissioners and had a meeting. And I brought those signatures, and they still rejected it. They didn't reject it, they just, it was more along